Today, I will show you guys how to build your team efficiently in Chaos Zero Nightmare. I think everyone already know that team building is the most crucial element in the game, but Chaos Zero Nightmare is really complex. It's really hard to know exactly which character goes well together. So I have looked through a bunch of guys, and this Chinese guy amazed me the most because it's offered the simplest and most essential information. Let's break it down together. So in this video, there are conventional team composition and specialized team composition. Let's start with specialized team comp first, because specialized team comp has the S and S plus tier character. If you haven't watched the tier list, then you can check it out. Currently, the strongest team composition in the meta is for sure Haru team. Haru is really OP with her high damage. Still have some AoE as well. The only problem is that she needs a lot of AP. That is why most of the time you will have to pair her with Mika. About Mika, then she for sure is the best support unit right now because not only she provide heal but also AP. Then the third slot, if you have Khalif, then she's the best one to go with Haru and Mika because not only she provides shield, but also she provide AoE damage to have the team clear multiple mob stage. One more thing is that her vulture ejection has this celestial effect, which is when using a card with 2 costs or higher, this card activates, and this card great synergy with Haru Anchor Shot and sometimes Power Charge as well. Yeah, so this team comp almost had like no weaknesses. But if you don't have Khalif, then you can also use Barrow as a sub DPS. For sure, Barrow will like the ability to shield, but she got really good card draw, which is this one, and most of her card has retain effect, so you can just keep them and always prioritize playing Haru card. This makes the game feel really smooth, and when you keep Barrow card, it's also increased hit, increased damage. So the damage that Barrow outputs is also quite high. If you just want to play around Haru, then Cassius is also a really good option. With him, if you are not unlucky, then the rotation will be really fast. Also, if you want to save Mika for your other team in Dimensional Run, then you can also use Nia. She provides less AP. But more card draw. So your rotation will go even faster. One more thing is that Haru team comp is really friendly to new player because you just have to play around her ankle shot and retrieve the ankle shot with ankle pointer and repeat. Next is the hunt team. This is the part that I found really interesting because in a lot of English guy like this one, most of the time Hugo is recommended to go with Trisa, but in this Chinese guy, then they recommend you to always run Hugo with Selena. For people who don't know, then Hugo kit is all about discard hunting instinct. So this is when another combatant use an upgrade or skill card, then he gain 1 command the hunt. And this deck, when using a targeting attack card, inflict 50% extra attack on the target, then reduce the stack by 1, increase extra attack damage per stack by 30%, maximum 5. That is why usually people will run Hugo with Trisa, because Trisa had a lot of cheap skill, as you can see, and then the skill also create dagger that costs 0, and then you can use it to proc command the hunts. But what about Selena? Then the Chinese guy say that Selena's skill is also really good to stack command the hunt for Hugo. And then the guy also said that they have really good synergies together. I think it is because of the mock that Selena has, which is when using attack card, 100% extra attack, then reduce the mock by 1. So Selena is kind of like Hugo as well. You want to have a lot of mock and then you attack with bunch of cheap card to their extra damage. And when paired with Hugo, you use Selena's skill, then it's also increased Commander Hunt stack. Then your attack prop both Mock and Commander Hunt. I think that is the ideal situation. Overall, really interesting strategy. I think it's really hard to tell if Trisa or Selena is better with Hugo. So we will need more time to discover that. If you guys know about this, then just comment down below. Share your thoughts. Also in this comp, Mika can be replaced with Nia. And last is the counter team. This team is quite interesting because it just rely on enemy attacking you and then you counter them back. But the synergy is really, really high between the team because both of this character has counter attack. Plus Mika, so basically your team is like immortal with all the shielding and healing. And then just thorn mail the enemy. As you can see here, this team only have almost 500 HP, but the shield amount is already 136. So basically you don't even have to worry about losing HP. The only problem is that this team requires Magna and Maribel at the same time. So if you only have Magna or Maribel, then you should use the first two specialized team or the conventional team. Also, if you want to save Mika for your other team, then you can use Cassius because he can provide you more card draw and your team is already really tanky. Next is the conventional team composition. Basically, you choose your main DPS and then you pair them with a sub DPS or support. Then you add a healer or a shield character. Then you're good to go. Among all the DPS, then Khalif is really flexible because you can use her as the main DPS. You can also use her as a sub DPS and you can also use her as a shielder as well. Among all the DPS, the biggest difference is just whether they are dealing AoE damage or single target damage. Sub DPS is the character that provide you extra draw or some buff and still their decent amount of damage. And the strongest sub DPS is gonna be Veronica because not only she can do decent damage with her ballista, but also she had really good drawing ability. Like this card, draw 2 from all the combatant. This card, draw 1. And she can even be used as a main DPS as well. That is why in a lot of the tier lists, Veronica can be ranked as tier 0 or tier 1 in Chinese tier or in like S or A tier in global tier list. Last is your healer or shielder. Then for sure Mika is the best. I think I don't have to talk much about this. The only problem is you need to build multiple teams. That is why a lot of time you have to use all the shielder like Amir or Maribel. I don't know why they do not put Maribel here. One more thing I noticed is that they don't put Cassius here. But I think he can also be a really good like sub DPS or support. That's it for now. If you guys want me to make more Chaos Zero Nightmare content, then please press like and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye. I will see you in the next video.